Hello folks, this is Travis from Elston Equine Solutions, part of the Clopton Cattle Company. I would like to welcome you to my channel, and today's topic is moving cattle, specifically up to Bull Run, which is a big lease pasture. And the biggest topic today we'll talk about is lease from public lands. And also you can see that we cleared the second trap up to the north is designated in orange, and following the blue line, which is a drive. That is a 30% grade going straight up, with the end state being at Boulder Tank.
Go get her real quick. I can get her real quick. Yeah.
Okay, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead after a pair and another cow that's kicked out on us. So I'm going to take a horse, I'm going to do a long trot and a lope and go find them. Bring them back, and you'll see here that we're just riding through some rough country and then enjoying the good sunlight during the winter. And we're going to get the job done. Now the horse I'm riding, his name is Cananea. He actually came from Mexico. Sure is a sure-footed critter. A good hoss with a lot of soul, a lot of heart, and true grit. And he's soft at a lope, and he's soft at a trot. Okay, now we got eyes on the cattle. And that little sucker is fast. So we're going to put some speed on and cut him off. And as you can see in this video, there's a lot of cattle ranches that vary greatly over Arizona, and you're just seeing part of one right now. This is a commercial cattle ranch, and that can be defined as varying in size from about 50 to 1,000 head of mother cows, with the primary intent of making a profit for the sale of non-registered calves. And right now I'm chasing after a pair of them. Now a typical Arizona commercial ranch may have around 200 to 300 cows, and mostly graze on land leased from the United States Forest Service, the Arizona Trust Land, or the Bureau of Land Management, otherwise known as BLM. Okay, so now I got the mother turned around, heading the direction that I came from, and now we just got to scoot up and grab the calf. Now you can tell from this horse I don't have to do a whole lot with the reins. He just goes with the feel. Most of the time I'm pretty light on the reins. I'm riding one-handed and a snaffle bit. Pretty soon you'll be moving up to a different outfit. And we're chasing this calf. Now when I grab this calf and the mother and a different mother, we're going to push it back out of this trap out to the pasture. And at the turn site, Kristen will be sitting there and waiting on us so we can push them up together. She'll be a blocking force and pushing up towards the water trough. And we got them moving now. Now I can tell you these are good cow horses to go through country like this. It's uneven ground, a lot of holes, a lot of logs, a lot of twigs, a lot of branches to knock you off. You gotta pay attention to what you're doing, have your head on swivel. Okay, so we're about there where Kristen's acting as a blocker. And this is a narrow trap, so it's nice, kind of like a funnel to push them where you need to turn up to the pasture. And specifically what we're looking for is the entrance of Bull Run. And that's the entrance coming up right now on the right. And there's the pair getting pushed up with the help of Kristen. And teamwork's essential when working with cattle. And you know, you got a good crew when you don't talk. Everybody's just at the right place where they're supposed to be. With nobody yelling at each other, and you could just look at each other and know what's going on and what's shaping up. Okay, so this is the entrance to Bull Run, and we're pushing them up to the herd. And this is a mixed lot of cattle. You got pairs, you still got bulls in there. And speaking of bulls, in Arizona, the owners of most commercial ranches are most likely to have received their ranches from family members. And that's no different on this ranch of the Clopton Cow Company. Kristen's a third-generation rancher, and she is operating this part of the ranch out of 3 different ranches in the Clopton Cow Company. Now you can see how rugged and what incline this is. And these Angus will quit you, so you gotta push them, take the pressure off, and keep them moving. A lot of hard work, but at the end of the day, it's worth it. And once again, like you've seen on the first video of Bull Run, this being the second video, the end state is getting this cattle up to Boulder Tank. And this is the winter pasture from them. And this was directed by the U.S. Forest Service as part of the grazing allotment. You can see here you got two riders on the left flank, and I am in drag position, actually acting as a pusher. So I'm just going left and right, pushing the cattle up. Get the flankers on the side, make sure that they don't run off that way. On the right side, we're using the barbed wire fence as a handrail, since there's only 3 of us. Alright, so I hope you're enjoying the video so far and watching us do some cowboy work here in Arizona. And I'm just going to let you enjoy the video, and I'm going to put on some background music. And that's from a good friend, old Joe Merrick. And then I'll talk a little bit more about this drive.
I come from a family of horsemen, ordained to the saddle at birth. For better or worse, neither blessing nor curse, just the reason God put me on earth. So here's to the horsemen, to the ones with horse blood in their veins, to the women and men who can claim next of kin, to the ones with the wind in their mane. I see life through the eyes of a horseman. It's a difficult thing to explain. I was taught from a child, if things start to get wild, take a firm, gentle hold of the reins. So live like a horseman, let your actions be honest and true. Know that all that you do, whether you want it to, teaches someone something about you. This country was founded by horsemen, and by horsemen this country will stand. They're the first to step in, they'll ride till they win, if things start to get out of hand. Thank God I'm a horseman, like my father and his before he, and my daughters and sons and their little ones will be father and me.
Now you can tell here in this video that the cattle are strung out nice and neat. They're not up balled up. You got some leaders up front taking some charge from the cattle. And back here we don't have to push so hard now. We're getting a little bit flatter area, but still rough. And I'll get rougher on top of this bench. And then we'll go down valley and straight up again. Now, a lot of times I'll just flick the cow whip. A lot of times the movement, I don't have to snap it. If you crack it too many times, you get desensitized to the whip, and you don't want that. So most of the time I just use the cow whip and crack it when I need to. And it's just a tool. No different than slapping the side of your shafts or trolling a rope. Just trying to create movement. And the cattle can see it. And like I said, this is real steep and they want to give up on you. So you just got to have a multitude of tools to use out of your kit bag to get the job done. You can hear that we're using a lot of verbal to keep them active, keep them moving. And you see I was pulling up on the reins. What I'm actually doing is standing up in the saddle and getting tall and large and spooking them to be able to go. So it looks like I was pulling up on the reins and it actually wasn't. I was actually trying to get to my height in the saddle. And as you can see, management is very important. They're constantly changing the length of your reins, so you gotta make sure you got good rein management. And you can tell I'm wearing cowboy cuffs. We'll probably do a video on that later on down the line. I've had a lot of questions and a lot of folks asking about what they are, what they're used, you know, some nicknames of them. So yeah, I think we'll do a video on that. Just educate exactly what they're used for, the multitude of purposes behind them, and the history of them. Because they are handy to have and very useful. And we're still going. Long day, I can tell you that. Now, we did have a question come in asking, what is a ranch lease? Well, basically, it's public lands grazing leases. Many large ranches across the United States either border or surround parcels of public lands owned by the federal or state governments. These public lands can be leased from the government for a variety of purposes, and most notably for grazing uses. So it gives a lot of money into the pockets back in the treasuries of both the federal and state lands. That's kind of what you're seeing right now. Now, one of the things I want to talk about is a animal unit for months on leased land. This is based on forage for one 1,000-pound cow with equivalent calf by her side per month. And this number is obviously dependent on management of objectives, rainfall, forage, and use by other species, etc. Now, these units can change over time based on multiple factors, such as range improvements, environmental impacts on the rangeland and habitat, drought, which is a big one here, Endangered Species Act, and lack of availability of water for livestock, to name a few. Generally, the only livestock allowed on the property are those owned by the permittee, and that is especially true with the U.S. Forest Service. And that's part of this land here you're seeing in this video. So most ranchers, either to keep their lease valid, the permittee must place 9% UMs on the allotment. Failure to do so can result in the cancellation of the grazing permit, which isn't good.
This one's curious, so let's see. This one's curious, I'm seeing.
I've had people ask me how long's the lease been associated with the rancher, and how long will it be associated with them. Well, typically U.S. Forest Service and BLM normally do a term of 10 years. So base property is private property owned by leasee, which is basically a rancher that supports cattle on private land while not grazing on the leased land. Now, U.S. Forest Service can do shorter term permits, but most ranches that have been around for a long time, for generations, normally get issued the same allotment or permit every 10 years.
Come on, baby, get out of there.
And we're making progress here. Slowly but surely.
Not you, baby.
And here we're trying to put a whole lot of pressure on the cattle because there is a small calf there on the right side by the fence. Trying not to get her squished. Don't want a broken leg or worse injuries than that. So we just slowly put pressure on, take it off. Real subtle like. And depending if the calf can't keep up because we're in the pasture, what we'll do is peel off that pair and let them rest and keep pushing the main herd up towards the water tank. You can see a little calf there to the right. We're just keeping it to the back so it doesn't get ran over by the adult calves. Yeah, trying to get the cows for the calf.
I got a kink in my tail.
Right there, I put a overhand knot at the end of my whip, so I gotta get it out. Happens every once in a while. Gets caught on different stickies here in the Arizona desert. That's not a reason why I don't really flick it too much, because it gets caught on about everything. Now right here it's kind of wide open, but I still got the barbed wire fence to my right, and you really got to know where the tip or the end of your whip is so it doesn't get caught up in it. And we're getting closer to a big, huge ravine. We got to push the cattle up. Not an easy job at all.
Alright, they're stalled. Through.
And sometimes what we'll do for a technique, if the cattle are really lagging, we'll take one of the flanked riders and cut the herd in half and start pushing them in two different bunches.
You got the front moving with that echo.
This herd's doing okay, so we're not using that technique. Now you got to remember, this channel is about learning horsemanship and also showing the ranch lifestyle, way of life. And I understand this video is pretty long, but at least you can see what goes on in the wilderness of leased land. And see that you got to work hard just to take care of livestock and get the job done for the consumer.
Come on, mamas. Head soft, head soft. Yeah.
Couldn't ask for a better day to move these cattle, though. Boy, this is beautiful country, though. Tough and rugged. Very peaceful.
Okay, so day 2, we're getting to this bunch. Push them up here on the plateau and the flats over by wire source, which means we are finished. Final. Done. Got them to the watering hole. And that made for a long, long day. Very rewarding. We're still trickling in with last riders back there. Yeah, we did it. All right, folks, so we moved a whole bunch of Angus cattle off of traps. The 3 of us here at the Clopton Cattle Company, and I'm Travis. Elston Equine Solutions, and we'll post a video here showing what we did, pushing them up, bull run, the mountain, and some crazy stuff, and how tough the horses got to be around this location. So I just kind of wanted to show you that. I hope you're all doing well. Hit subscribe and hit like. Take care now. Adios.